Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I have something a little bit different for you guys. I've highlighted in the past that I am a Godzilla fan, but I thought today, why not just show off my Godzilla collection as it stands? You know, because I've spent most of my birthday money, so I don't think I'll be making any big Godzilla-related purchases for a little while. So I thought today, let's just do it. Let's show my entire Godzilla collection from start to finish, right here, right now. Let's go. Let's start where any self-respecting Godzilla collection should start, and that is with the movies. Here is Godzilla 1954. This is actually a double feature. It comes with both Gojira, the 54 film, and Godzilla King of the Monsters, not the 2019 film, the 1956 American cut of the first film. Godzilla names are really confusing, and don't get it confused, okay? Here we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. This is from the Toho Master Collection. If you are looking for really good releases of the Godzilla movies, definitely track down the Toho Master Collection. This is my only Toho Master Collection release, but I gotta say, it is a really good set to go find, because they give you both versions, the English dub and the Japanese dub. Always go for the Japanese dub generally, because whoo, it took them a long time to get good American dubs for Godzilla films. I think the only one that I can tolerate watching, well, no, the only ones I can tolerate watching are the anime trilogy and the Shin Godzilla English dubs. Those are actually pretty good. Everything else, stay the everlasting hell away. I realized I needed a bigger box, and so I got one. And we're going to continue. Here is Godzilla vs. Gigan from the 50th anniversary series. This is a terrible cover for this movie, by the way. The 50th anniversary series wasn't the greatest with their Showa-era covers. They definitely look like B-movies, which, you know, they kind of are, but, you know, you shouldn't try and shoot for that. Either way, it doesn't really affect how I feel about this movie. I still enjoy this movie, and I know that is an unpopular opinion. But you know what? I don't care. Going into the Heisei series now, here we have Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Mothra Battle for Earth. It's Godzilla and Mothra Battle for Earth. I don't know if that's a typo. I forget, actually, right now. So, yeah, this is the TriStar release that came out in 1998 or 9, I want to say. And, yeah, this is a double feature. It's one of the more infamous releases. It only has the English dubs of these movies on here, and it's pretty cheaply made, as you can see, with the disc being double-sided, and yeah, ooh, it's extremely prone to scratching and such. I generally keep it on the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah side, because what do you know, that's my favorite movie of the two, though I definitely still like Godzilla vs. Mothra Battle for Earth. Here we have another 50th anniversary release, this one thankfully a lot better looking. Here is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. This is not actually the official name, this is just to differentiate it from the Showa-era Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Again, Godzilla names for movies are really confusing. Don't get them confused, you'll look like an idiot if you do, even though it's really hard to get them right. Either way, this is a really nice release, and also one of the more difficult movies I've seen to track down, generally. So thanks 50th anniversary release for releasing this, because TriStar did not release this, but they did release Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Only 1 year, I'd like to say, after the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Mothra release. So yeah, they skipped this movie, but they went straight to Space Godzilla and Destoroyah. This one I clearly paid $5 for. I haven't used Gugon on this because I'm not displaying it like this all the time. I'm displaying it with the spine facing outward. It's also still the same thing, though the line here has not been scratched off. Moving on to the Millennium series now. Here we have Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All in Attack, the longest Godzilla movie name of all time. I'm really happy I have this because, first of all, this is a really nice release of this movie, and second of all, this is one of the best Godzilla movies ever made. I definitely recommend this one as a starting point for a lot of people. Just saying, it's really good. I know I'm blocking newer releases as we go along, but don't worry, I'll figure out a way that we can show them all off later. Here is Godzilla Final Wars, again from the 50th anniversary set. This is probably the best box art out of them all. You really can't tell that it's a 50th anniversary set, save for the fact that it says 50th anniversary up there and the stupid tagline down there. This is a really nice release. And this was also my very first Japanese Godzilla movie that I ever watched in full. I remember seeing small clips of Japanese Godzilla movies on both YouTube and I think a little bit of television when I was very young, but generally I didn't get into Godzilla movies until Godzilla 2014. I did not watch this in 2014, I watched it in 2017. Oh boy, I've been pretty busy these last few years, but yeah, this was my first Godzilla movie that I genuinely watched in full. And it is a really interesting movie in the series, I'd say, because not only is it the first American Godzilla movie that got it right, it is also a Godzilla movie that isn't really about Godzilla all that much. It's more focused on its newer monsters, the Mutos, so it's kind of false advertising. But you know, I also would recommend this as a starting point for a lot of people, especially if you are an American. It generally works towards more American tropes, so maybe it won't make an impression on you as much as the Japanese films will, but it'll probably, you know, guide you into the insanity a bit better. And last but not least, definitely not least, Godzilla King of the Monsters, the only Blu-ray I have here. But this is also another double release. It comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. And this is a really, really great movie right here. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters so much. It is not the best Godzilla movie. That honor belongs to Shin Godzilla, which I don't own, but I watched it thanks to my sister's Funimation Now subscription that I hijacked. It is not the best Godzilla movie. It is my favorite. What I mean by that is Shin Godzilla is the best made, it is the most solid movie of them all, but this is the one that I get the most enjoyment out of. I still really love Shin Godzilla. If I were to rank my Godzilla movies, Shin Godzilla would be, I think, right below this one, maybe. But it would still be really high up, but this is definitely the king of the movies. Alright, here we have all the movies, but we are not quite done with the discs, because we still have two more things to cover. Godzilla games! I only have two, but I only need two for right now. I'm wanting to get Domination, but Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee for the GameCube. This was the beginning, folks. This was the very first thing that got me into Godzilla and what made me want to go watch 2014. It made me want to become a Godzilla fan. I had recommendations for this game from a few places that I will not cite here, but just know this was the beginning of it all for me. So when I think of good memories, I think of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, and I think that this game also helped my love of a certain three-headed golden dragon, because unlike the movies, when you're talking about a fighting game roster, every character is fair game. So for a character to, you know, appeal to you, they really have to stand out from the crowd, and a certain golden boy did that for me very well. So yeah, this was the beginning of basically everything that identifies me as a Godzilla fan. And while I really like that game, and that's all nice, this is the better game. Godzilla Saved the Earth for the PlayStation 2. It's covered in stickers from its previous owner. I had this shipped from eBay. And yeah, it's really, really covered. But this game, man, it is so much better than Destroy All Monsters Melee. so much better. So many more monsters, so many more options, much more dynamic level layouts. It's just, this is just the greatest ever right here, honestly. I don't even know if anything could pass this. It had online for what that's worth, considering the fact that these servers are long dead. But yeah, those are the Godzilla games. And also a Godzilla book. Godzilla History's Greatest Monster. This is a collection of the 13 comic IDW run of, I don't remember which Godzilla series this was, but it was one of them. It features a lot of interesting art for a lot of it. It has a very distinct style, but yeah, when it's good, it's real good. So I don't know. I'd say I'd recommend picking this up. This is not the Rulers of Earth one or the Kingdom of Monsters one. I think it's just called Godzilla. And this is the one that I would definitely recommend getting the book for, because this, I cannot imagine reading these as individual comics, because you need to read these all at once to get the full story for this. To get the full experience that you sort of need, because good lord, I would not recommend reading this as individual comics. The pacing just would get destroyed. As for Godzilla shirts, I don't have too many. I have this shirt, the World Destruction Tour shirt, but that shirt does not compare to this shirt. This is a custom Godzilla King Ghidorah shirt from Teespring. Yes, this is a custom shirt from an independent artist, right there. And this is just so good. This is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. I'm just gonna take this out right now. As for the figures, you've seen most of them before, but what would a Godzilla Collection video be without the figures? So let's take a look. Starting with Burning Godzilla, my very first Godzilla figure. This is the NECA Burning Godzilla. I've grown more attached to him in recent days, but yeah, he's still my least favorite Godzilla that I own. Just because he's not super playable. He does have a lot of articulation, it's just that I think that he may actually have a little too much, because you can't be super violent with him. We have Biollante, the figure I promised a review for that never came, just because I didn't really know what to do with the review. But Biollante is easily one of my more favorite figures that I own. She has these giant vines with the mouths on the ends, the tendrils. You can move her head. She's a Bandai vinyl. And yeah, she's pretty wide, and she's great. Here we have Mechagodzilla, the Showa Mechagodzilla, still missing his mouth, because I bought him with a missing mouth from Walmart. But yeah, here he is in all of his glory. You can move his arms, his legs, his torso, his head. Still the most posable Bandai vinyl I own, and I don't think that'll be changing anytime soon. In here we have Gigan, Showa era Gigan. Can't move his head, but you can move his arms and legs. He is a really good figure. I really enjoy him. And here we have King Ghidorah. This is based off of his 2001 Godzilla Mothra and King Ghidorah design. Even though he is my favorite monster, definitely one of my least favorite figures of the Bandai line that I own, just because you can only move his wings and tail, and even then you can't really move his wings all that naturally. They rotate, which is not exactly the way I would want them to be, but hey, what are you gonna do? And here we have the Final Wars Bandai Creations Godzilla. You can move his arms, you can move his legs, you can move his head, and his tail moves at two different sections. He's very posable, Actually, I think maybe he beats... yeah, he does beat Mechagodzilla over there, so I was lying before. This guy's the most posable and one of the coolest figures I own. But wait, there's more. My Jakks Pacific Godzilla figures. If you couldn't tell, I was really swept up in the hype for Godzilla King of the Monsters, so thank God it delivered. I have a few things right here. Let's start with the little pieces that you can see right here. We have the Argo Jet, one of the coolest vehicles in the Godzilla series, in my opinion. The Argo Jet from the movie. This is just a little rubber plastic thing. Here we have the destructible building that comes with King Ghidorah. Here we have the 3-inch Godzilla. Definitely my favorite Godzilla figure I have when it comes to play, because he's small enough that I can really take him anywhere, and he's fairly posable. He's got a posable head, arms, legs, and 2 points of rotation at the tail. So here we have the 3-inch King Ghidorah, easily my least favorite figure of the Jakks Pacific range that I own right now, purely because the way that they constructed his wings make it so that he is extremely top heavy and falls over. If you see back here, I'm using big Godzilla over here to hold down his tail so that he doesn't tip over and fall. Also, Kevin has a weird rotation right here that also is really easy to separate. And here we have the 6-inch King Ghidorah, which comes with the Argo Jet and Destructible City. He's way better. Because he can actually stand, since they didn't design the wings dumb. But yeah, mine is defective in the fact that the wings don't have a great connection. The Jakks Pacific figures definitely have some production issues, but I still enjoy them. Come on, they're 2019 designs that don't cost a fortune like the SH Monsteroids figures do. And finally, we have the big boy. Here he is, the large 20-inch long Jakks Pacific Godzilla. Boy, this guy is huge, has some presence, but he can only move his tail of 2 sections and his arms and legs, which is weird because this guy can move his head, so I don't know why you can't move the head on the big guy. I don't know. I'm keeping these over here because I don't want to move this display. Shut up! As for plushes, I only own 2, but I'm glad that I own 2 because Godzilla plushes are not easy to come by. You can find figures, but plushes are harder to find, probably because Godzilla designs are inherently spiky. But here we have the PHUNNY, or Funny Godzilla, that was made for the 2014 film. This guy is a chubster. He's sort of just a little novelty Godzilla item. He is one of the first pieces of Godzilla merchandise I ever owned. I got Destroy All Monsters Melee, and before I watched 2014, I got this guy. And actually, I think on my sister's channel, you can see a video called Tales Vlogs, where you can actually see the day that I bought him. So that's actually pretty neat, and that also will give you a time frame to tell you just how long I've been a Godzilla fan, because it's not a super long time. It is a more recent development, but it is a very strong love. And a lot of that love comes from ACS, or the 2001 King Ghidorah plush. This guy was expensive, it cost $50, but my lord, is he worth it? Yes, he totally is. He is a Thai classic, a line of the Thai plushes that are exclusive to Japan. So he's a Japanese import, but you can find him easily on American eBay. And he is just outstanding. I love this plush so much. As for packaging, when it comes to my Godzilla figures, I own a few things still. Here is the tag for the Bandai Gigan that I showed off in the video that I made for him. And here is the tag for Biolante that I showed off in the unreleased video I made for her. And here is the Bandai vinyl box for the American figures that you can find at Walmart. This is clearly the Mechagodzilla one. I can tell by the way that the straps in here are done. And the rest of these are King of the Monsters boxes. Here we have the 6-inch King Ghidorah's box. Right there, there's a blurb about King Ghidorah. There he is in all of his glory. He's a whole lot more gold in the image than he is in real life. There's a Rodan right there. Here's the Godzilla and King Ghidorah battle set box. And here is the big Godzilla box. Over 20 inches long. There's a blurb about Godzilla. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, yeah, everyone, there it is, my Godzilla collection. I still have a few miscellaneous items I did not show yet, such as over here I have this Godzilla thing that I printed out. This is a very nice image. And I also have the background from the battle set, which is literally a piece of cardboard with a little plastic stand. It's like the lamest part of the battle set. You're buying the battle set for the figures, and even then, really only the Godzilla figure, because it's kind of difficult to play with the folly over King Ghidorah. But yeah, that is it. That is my Godzilla collection. If you have any Godzilla experience, leave it down below. And if you ever want to talk about Godzilla, hey, just hit me up. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. So have a great rest of your day, and take care.